such a pleasure to welcome all of you to our spring band and jazz concert. And it is a special concert because it's the first one after a pretty amazing weekend, and I have a couple of reflections that I wanted to offer all of you. On Saturday, April 5th, 4 school buses full of Wayland High School band students, their instruments, their friends and families, a bunch of chaperones, and their unwaveringly cheerful teacher, Mr. Onischuk, headed to Fenway Park to open the second home game of the Red Sox season with the performance of our national anthem. This honor was the culmination of months of thoughtful planning, visioning, and organization, plus a whole lot of excitement, because honestly, how many people get to stand at home plate at Fenway Park and perform the national anthem for thousands of adoring baseball fans? Oh, I forgot to mention that the 4 school buses departed Wayland High School for Fenway Park under gray and gloomy skies, and soon rainy and stormy skies, so by the time the band students and their adults and their instruments gathered in the dark interior of Fenway Park and warmed up and were ready to go, the game was delayed, and delayed, and delayed. We were all treated to a behind-the-scenes glimpse of the decision-making process when big leagues need to balance their fan and corporate interests with the whims of Mother Nature. Increasingly hungry band students remained patient while they found them innovative things to do with sugar packets and coffee creamer containers. And meanwhile, up above in the stands, cold, wet families and friends hunkered down in the freezing rain and hunted desperately for Dunkin' Donuts hot chocolate. It was a long wait. Finally, as you all know, the game was called and rescheduled for the following afternoon. But here's the amazing part. In spite of the fact that everyone was freezing and tired and disappointed, the spirit and joy of our students and their families did not waver. As you well know by now, we were right back at it again the next day, under gloomy and threatening skies, but this time the rain stopped. And by the time we got to Fenway Park, the skies turned blue. In a series of absolutely surreal moments, our band was ushered onto the pristine infield, and on the loudspeaker, it was introduced to the Fenway fans who stood. And our band calmly, skillfully played a soaring rendition of the national anthem that will live in our hearts forever. As Mr. Onischuk said afterwards, they nailed it. Sadly, not everyone was able to play on Sunday, due to other commitments, but everyone, every student here shared in the experience of diligently and purposefully preparing for the moment of a lifetime to honor our nation at one of the country's most hallowed baseball stadiums. I'm so proud of our students, so grateful to their families and friends who supported and joined us, and I'm especially in awe of Mr. Onischuk, whose vision and enthusiasm and cheerfulness never wavered. Congratulations to all of our band students, and thank you for representing your school and your community so beautifully. Tonight it is such a pleasure to welcome you to our spring band and jazz concert, and we will begin in just a moment with our Honors Jazz Ensemble. Welcome.
And before we play, I just want to thank everybody who was involved with this, particularly the chaperones. I could not have done that, we could not have done that without a dream team of chaperones. They were incredible, so thank you so much. Kappa really made it possible with doing the ticket sales through Venmo on their website, and that kind of enabled everything to kind of flourish. Obviously the students, the parents, but I was so impressed with the students, particularly the rain day, just how they carried themselves for like 4.5 hours. I didn't hear any complaining. You acted like absolute professionals, and I am just so impressed and appreciative of you. And then, as Dr. Mizuguchi said, yes, you nailed it on the next day. So round of applause to our students. And let's hear some jazz. That piece was by Dexter Gordon, and his famous landmark album was called Go. He's a tenor saxophonist. Our next song, you guys can see. Next song is going to be Midnight Waltz by Cedar Walton. And this tune came about, we were sight reading a bunch of new songs, and Atticus, one of our bass players, said, "Stroh, can we play this tune?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it's really a combo tune." He's like, "Well, let's try it." So we tried it, and then from there it just kind of took its own shape and form, and we created our own arrangement of it. Atticus is in Italy right now, or he's still on the plane on the school trip, so we wish them well. But here's our rendition of Midnight Waltz by Cedar Walton. I should also mention that there is a special piano introduction because Cedar Walton was a pianist. So Felix Zapp is going to do our introduction, and he created this entire introduction by himself. soloists on that song. We had Jack Sweetland on drums, Felix Zapp on piano, Noah Ferdman on trumpet, Eli McHugh on guitar, Evan Brown on vibes, Joe Cook on guitar. Brendan, sorry, we switched around bass players today. Brendan Smith on bass and Colin McHugh on guitar. Round of applause for those soloists. And our last song, Hurricane Season, is by a famous trombonist from New Orleans, Trombone Shorty. And it's going to feature Evan Brown, Paxton Rothschild, Alex Jacob, Ojo Cook, Matt Tan, and Nathaniel Negus. Jamie Markey, John McGonigal, and Steve Lansettle, Colin McHugh, and Jonah Theobald. And you might notice our bass player now playing alto sax. So, thank you. And we're going to transition to concert band. So, concert band can come up on stage and get set, and jazz ensemble you can exit into the audience. And I'm just going to have one more quick little presentation here before concert band plays. So just give us a couple minutes. So I wanted to share some fantastic news too, as if I didn't think Fenway we could ever top that or come near that. This really got to my heart. 5 days ago, Jack Caverly texted me. He's an alumni. He graduated last year, and he's at the Berklee College of Music studying drums. He is leading his own band in Boston at Monkfish Cafe. He's the lead. He put together the band. You can buy tickets. He's a professional. He is a bona fide professional. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., I'll just read to you what it says. It says, the Mad Monkfish is happy to offer live jazz concerts on select dates for those who can't make it to the Jazz Baroness Room. Monkfish now streaming all of its performances. The Jack Caverly Sextet. Jack Caverly and his Berklee Sextet present a dynamic concert showcasing diverse jazz styles. Jack Caverly and his friends present a dazzling array of different styles of jazz. The sextet is comprised of some of his favorite fellow musicians from Berklee, specifically picked to create a thrilling jam session-esque environment for the listener. I am so thrilled and happy for Jack. One more round of applause for him. As an educator and a performer myself, that's one of the ultimate goals I have, is for our students to go on and be professionals, go on and make a livelihood for themselves. I wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Elliot Hawk. One of the greatest monuments to the power of the Roman Empire, Hadrian's Wall, was a stone and timber fortification that ran for 73 miles across northern England. Built to separate and protect the Romans from the barbarian Celtic tribes to the north. The wall was constructed by the Roman Emperor Hadrian following his visit to Britain in 122 AD. His plan to consolidate his boundaries resulted in one of the great engineering feats in history. Portions of the Great Wall still remain today.
our challenge with that piece was always how fast and clean can we play that ending?
Celtic ritual reflects the unique composite of sadness and humor in the Celtic culture, formed by 1,000 years of fighting for freedom. It was inspired by the dark beauty of Celtic mythology, which at its core concerns a legendary race of superhuman warriors, now hidden behind the misty space of the centuries. Also gifted in music, dance, and poetry, the warriors are emblematic of the strange mixture of mystery and power in Celtic literature and arts.
to reset for our combined piece. Thank you. Come on up, concert band. So this concert, besides some very exciting music, is a very symbolic concert because it's the last one for our seniors. It's been an amazing 4 years with you, and I hope that you always continue playing, and I hope you know that you're always a part of this band family here at Wayland High School. So when I call your name, please come on up and grab a rose, and if I can ask the clarinets to help distribute these, that would be great. So when I call your name, please stand. Aiden Wayne, Joshua Proctor, Santiago Rosen, Steve Lansing, Jack Guerra, Zach Cohen, John McGonigal, Evan Brown, Colin McHugh, if you hear Colin, come on up, and Felix Sapp. Please come on up. Big round of applause for our seniors. And just so you know, we kind of have a tradition that right after the concert, all the seniors line up here for pictures, so parents, please get your cell phones out. Really, congratulations on everything you've achieved here. Let's pass one over here. Great. Thank you so much, seniors, and I wish you the best of luck. Great. And thank you so much for being an incredible audience. Hope you have a wonderful spring break.